Hey y'all, welcome to the Heart of the Podcast with MSTC. I'm Mel.
George?
Yeah, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
So we're gonna talk today about a couple interesting topics. The first one we're gonna talk about is very special situation for us, which we're borrowing from the anime when Yugi lost. So we're gonna talk about decks that we've lost to that were like out of left field. How did we even lose to this? This makes no sense.
Yugi lost! Yugi gave his Duel Monsters Championship crown to some nobody?
Nick, do you want to start with this?
Oh yeah. Okay, so when we went to where'd we go? We went to Niagara and we were doing a regional. And this is not the one you're thinking of, because I know Mel and George, you're thinking of that time I played that Runic player. I actually beat him though, and that was actually a fun match. Although I guess I had a look on my face like I wanted to punch him, but I didn't. I was just focusing really hard. No, I played I played Fluanderies at that event, which at the time it was pretty top, and I played against a Raid Raptor player, and I fucking lost. And I lost. Well, the first time. So the first match, the short version of the first match is I drew a pretty bad hand, and that happens with Flu. I won the second game, and then the third game, I drew an okay hand, but he like hand trapped me a bunch, and then he made like the towers monster that I just couldn't get over it, and I lost, and I was like, how is this possible? Like Raid Raptor is not a good deck. I just like I lost, and he played through a shifter too. He just really didn't seem to care, and I was sad about it because if I had won that match, I would have ended 4-3, but instead I went 3-4, and I was a little bummed out about it. It's a bummer, man. Terrible.
Yeah, that is a bit of a bummer. George, what about you?
I think like the weirdest, like kind of like what the fuck deck I lost to was Crusadia. And this wasn't like full power Crusadia. This was after a lot of the cards had gotten banned. I just had no idea what they did and just didn't stop anything because I'm like, well, yeah, this is gonna do nothing. And then I'm staring down like a bunch of like beat sticks that just ended up punching me for game. And yeah, I mean, hindsight, I should have paid attention to what he was saying, what the cards did, but I was just too cocky and ended up losing the match to Crusadia. Not even again, not full power Crusadia, just like yeah, I think that'd be like a biggest gut punch for me.
Well, it's kind of funny that you mentioned Crusadia because my biggest loss was against Crusadia as well. There was this little kid that shows up to Squiggy once in a blue moon, only when the stars align and the planets are in the same direction, whatever. And this kid plays Crusadia. I think he switched over to Dragonlink Crusadia, but he loves Crusadia. I was playing Sword Soul at full power Protos. Gotta love it.
Oh my god.
And I was at Squiggy's, our local nearby, and it was like my 10th time winning in a row. Except this kid has been preparing his deck just to beat me, and
Oh
he
my God.
2-0'd me real quick. And the fact that what's really like the punch to the face is that he has not showed up ever again. And I've been waiting for him to come back,
No.
so I can play him because he's a really good player. He really is. Like he understands the game mechanics. He's a really advanced player as a little kid, and I love that.
Saying that
And
because it's a little kid that beat you, and
Yeah.
you just like you don't want to feel as bad.
well, it's just a loss I haven't been able to recoup from.
That's fucked.
That's you
I'll
have
never
like
emotionally recover.
you have the all of Squiggy's on speed dial. Like as soon as this kid shows up, text me. I will be there.
I will be there. That's funny.
Maybe he wasn't real. Maybe it was a ghost and you just dreamed it.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
sure. Like, did
won
anyone
one
else
too many
see that?
times.
Did anyone else see you? Like, can you verify that you were there?
What about you, Mel?
It's a 3 for 3. I also had a really rough match against Crusadia.
Wow.
At the
Uniqueness.
YCS that we went to, I was playing against somebody who was not even a Yu-Gi-Oh player. They were a Magic player that showed up with their friends and was like, "Yeah, they just gave me this and like I practiced it for the last 2 weeks." And they beat me with my favorite deck. She knew what she was doing with the deck, and I forgot that Equimax has like there were specific things that you can't do when it's targeted and not targeted, and I just was like, oh, there's no way she's gonna know, and she ended up beating me. And I will give an honorable mention to our at Swiggy's George. You remember? I don't remember her name, but it was somebody who would somehow draw Exodia every first turn,
Oh yeah.
and we couldn't bring ourselves to not have that happen because it was a player that was
I've
had
heard.
had specific situations going on, and winning was really important to her. So that was just like I lost, and it was upsetting because there was no reason to lose, but I didn't have the heart to not to call her out on it. And
I
then
mean,
after it happened a couple times, I was like, I appreciated the people at the locals who called her out on it and did it in a productive way to support her learning how to play the game and supporting her parents and helping her learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually played against her, and I also did. I think I did a similar thing to you, Mel. But
Yeah.
the frustrating thing about that wasn't the player; it was that like it was accounted as like winning or losing when it really
Right,
shouldn't
right.
have been. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to draw the out in that situation. If
You're
she
right.
draws Exodia, you also have to draw Exodia.
You're right. I should have just
absolutely,
put an
absolutely.
Exodia. What a fool I was.
That's the only way to
Um,
counter Exodia. Mhm.
yeah. Well, this segment was an interesting one. We hopefully can bring it back every now and then as we're playing, go through maybe a yearly thing of like, what did we lose to? What did we mess up with? The next thing we want to talk about is we're recording this in January of 2023, and we had Amazing Defenders have a couple of almost all the cards except one got revealed in some shape or form. So we wanted to talk about that. Some of us are excited for what's in it, some of us are not. Joseph, did you want to start with some of the things you're excited about?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited for the Mikanko archetype. It's just I've been waiting for Libromancer to be a playable deck for quite a bit, ever since it came out.
Mhm.
Like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
And
basically.
I
10 years ago. Oh
and
man.
Were you even
Mikanko,
born 10 years ago?
right? Mikanko looks amazing. Like it's one of those archetypes that I would play as well.
Yeah, from the
Um,
title.
right. And also it has like a lot of flexibility, and on the combos, it's just fun. And I love combo decks, and I also love decks that like get mushed in together. Like I saw a build that like plays Illusion of Chaos. It has Isolde in it. It has like all the shenanigans. It's just a compilation of all the fun combos that you can go through. It's a fishbowl deck, which I love. So you play with what you draw, and then you figure out the combos right then and there. But Mikanko is enabling Libromancers to have that extra punch. So I'm very excited for it because it's also like a new way to play. You don't really like win with reflection damage. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad
When
to
you
see it.
say Libromancers get more a punch, do you mean a single punch? Because I feel like they never had a punch.
No, they did have a punch. Like for about a week they did when they were played with Punk Libromancer,
Yes.
and
I do.
they
I
were
remember that.
and they were scythe locking people left and right.
Mhm.
But that was pretty much it. They can still set up a board. They also have a trap card that's an Omni Negate that gets set up very often. So
I
that
never.
also plays around droplets, Dark Ruler. So like the deck is pretty resilient. The thing is,
Yeah.
it just lacks more interactions, which Mikanko, I won't say that's what's gonna put it up there, but it's definitely like a step in the right direction. Which it'll be a playable deck, which is what I've always wanted for it
Yeah.
to
I
be
mean,
playable.
that's all you can ask for, right? Is like the deck. Like if a deck goes from being like, this is a fun tier to like, I could play this. That's nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That's what you want.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I
Okay.
know. I know Mel is excited for another archetype that's in here,
Oh
which
yeah.
I
is
sure am. I am
Oh
really
god.
looking forward to my favorite Pokemon I mean Yu-Gi-Oh archetype in Purrely. I'm very excited for Purrely. I think I think it is adorable. I really it's also one of those like cutesy archetypes that actually has some stuff going for it. So like Noir is like a really good boss monster. It's a quick effect non-targeting shuffle back into the deck, and it's not once per turn, which is nice. The quick plays all have very like cute little art on them. It's got a really sweet name in Purrely for the trap card.
It
Uh,
does.
and I'm really excited that it got. I'm both excited and like oh boy that it got. For some reason, it got 4 collector's rares, despite me recognizing that it is not going to be the strongest archetype that comes out of Amazing Defenders.
Beg to
But
differ.
it's unless they need more, and they like. I mean, we could get the other evolutions. I mean, other Xyz monsters, which will be nice for the different attributes. It
I
is
think
so
that you would get more.
clearly. It is so clearly Eevee that
I
it's.
think that you would get more. Pretty sure you'll get more.
Oh yeah, we're missing fire, so we're missing going full Eevee. We're missing Flareon, and we're missing Sylveon, and we're missing Glaceon.
And we're missing Rockion.
Yes.
So
Well, so
Rockion.
actually, I feel like just to add to this, Mel. I just like I'm kind of looking at the cards because I read them when they came out. It's potentially worth noting that the lower, not happiness and noir, plump beauty and happiness, not Purrely happiness. The lower one, they're rank 2, which is a nice thing to have these days.
Yeah.
And I do think you'll get more. I actually kind of agree with Joe. I think at the end of the day, I think Pirelli is going to be the best thing out of here because I just think that's what will happen. I don't think Rescue Ace is really going to make it.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think Rescue Ace is going to be really good. I feel like I mean, collectors wise, I think Purrely is gonna be one of those archetypes that I can only see the cards being like rarity, the ones that are lower rarity getting like eventually what I'm trying to say is there's gonna be a max rarity version of this deck, I think. And you're gonna continue getting support. It's gonna be one of those things that it might have its day in the sun someday. But I think it's gonna take a lot in order for it to be like an actual competitive deck. It might have to include a different engine to it. But I feel like Rescue Ace is gonna be one of those decks that it might be like a top tier rogue. It's gonna be like on a higher end rogue, maybe like a tier, like a low end tier 2. I don't know. I feel like it has a lot of potential.
If we want to get specific with Rescue Ace, they have the boss monster Rescue Ace Turbulence, which says
It's insane.
set 4 cards, and that is crazy.
It does say that, yeah.
And
it's
they
so
can
easy to
summon themselves
summon.
so easy. Yeah, they summon themselves. So
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah. It's that card that's like a boss monster that's like, we know that you might not always enjoy, like, this archetype needs support. We're gonna print a really strong boss monster. But I appreciate them going back to like boss monsters are actually like what you want to get, as opposed to like getting your little like. I don't want to sit on Herald of the Arclight, which is clearly not a boss monster. Like, I want to sit on a rescue. I want to sit on Turbulence. I want to sit on Expiry Noir. Expiry Noir. I don't know. I don't know the Mikanko one.
Yeah, you just sit on the Mikanko ritual monster. She quick effect equips spells from the graveyard right onto the field, and those quick effect spells like have a different effect based on which one you equip. So like it has a snatch and steal, like I was mentioning.
You're talking about Ohime? Yeah.
Yeah, Ohime. She just steals cards. She can also bounce.
It's got nice art. I like this card.
Yeah. So like all of them have that one card that can sit on the field, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want out of like a side set like this, because I'm just looking at the list of side sets. The last side set where everything that came out of it was busted was Secret Slayers, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Everything else since has been meh.
I appreciate that the Amazing Defenders, the art on all of these cards, the Pirellis, the Rescue Aces, and Mikanko all look really good. And I like that it's like we all agree that we've all talked about, like, Drytron was not the best art wise, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was the most competitive, but it was not the best art wise.
looked the same.
Doegdick looked interesting, but the 3 of these arts look really good.
They really
How do we
do.
feel?
They
Yeah.
really do. They really, really
How do
do.
we feel about the reprints in this set?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's funny. Funny you say that because like as we were chatting, I was just like scrolling through, and so I'm just gonna say some of the names, and then you guys can react. All right. So I'm just looking through, looking at reprints, right? So first, um, Gizmek Naganaki was a thing that came out that I think people probably wanted. People like the Giz. It's the 950 one for your reference. So that's nice, right? Got another one for one. Okay, right.
I will note I 100% called this was going to be a CR when
You
Purrely
did.
was revealed to be a level 1. I was like 1-for-1's getting a collector's rare.
You did. Now here's a couple of the big boys. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's a good reprint.
Saravis. That's a nice one.
That's a nice reprint.
Yep. Another print of Isold, honestly, like neat. Honestly, neat. Pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it's
All right.
weird that it's super because
It
it already
is.
had a super.
Yeah.
CR makes sense for it, but
Yeah.
the problem with printing extra deck monsters in CR is that you often only run one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, especially something like Isold.
I
And
mean,
then the
I
other
feel like that's good for your pocket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And then the last thing I'm looking at that really stands out to me is Purrely, which only had one printing actually.
But that's not a
That's a
CR,
good one.
isn't it?
No, it's just I mean, it's appreciated that it's just a rare.
Common. Or
Yeah.
oh
rare.
yeah, sorry, a rare.
I mean, the only deck that's successfully played that so far is DDDs,
Right.
but having nothing
It's-
so far.
It's one of those where I feel like one day it will be really good. It's the same way I feel about Small World. One day,
Mhm.
one day, I think it'll be really good. But yeah, I mean the reprints and a bunch of Infernoble Knight stuff got reprinted, which people
Which
do care about.
Renaud needed a reprint. I'm
Much
glad that
needed.
Renaud much needed. The fact that it dodged the reprints that Toon Chaos, like when Toon Chaos got reprinted, the fact that it dodged them was really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean the reprints are pretty good. Like it's nice. It's
I think
it's
they're
nice.
good
Yeah.
in specific things. George, go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that. I think it's only good in specific things. I'll be honest, the set as a whole, I mean, it's like lackluster. I mean, I know that it's like a side set, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, outside of like just looking at these cards, I might like pick up a rescue A score just to like kind of have just a deck to play
In
around
your
with.
back pocket.
Yeah, just the back pocket deck, no deck box, just straight rubber band around it.
Gemtech rubber band.
Yeah, gem tech rubber band.
Of course.
But yeah, like I don't like other than that, like I don't know. I don't see like I mean, I could be completely wrong, and this could be the second coming of Secret Slayers, where I don't see much value in this right now, and then a year from now, like all these cards are just ridiculously expensive. But I mean, as of right now, I don't think any of these cards are really gonna hold value in the long run, outside of the collector's rares.
I mean,
Yeah.
Renaud, I think, in Isolde as well. Like, Isolde is like Hulky Fibrex.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
it is.
Warriors.
It is.
Yeah.
Isolde is I actually don't have a copy because the only deck I play that would play it is a hero variant that I refuse to play. But I will probably pick one up actually.
Yeah.
What it's like it's a collector's and an ultra if I'm looking at this correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Collector's Ultra. Kizmet Orochi was a good that's a good pick for Collector's Rare. Very Pancratos-esque, I think.
Yes. Actually, I'm sad I skipped that. Yes, people really like that card.
Card
Yeah, I'm
Trooper.
hoping that this set is a bust, so Gizmek Orochi's low and I can pick up 3 copies.
It's
Oh,
What do you
you
think
got-
it's going to be the highest?
What do I think is going to be the highest?
out
Unfortunately,
of the collectors.
Yeah.
I think Isold will cost a pretty penny. I think, unfortunately, I think Gizmek might also cost a pretty penny. 1-for-1 will be up there. Although I think 1-for-1 is going to match reinforce like Rhoda in terms of its value. But unfortunately, I think the Purrelys are going to get the most. They're going to be the most expensive ultimately, just because people love EV.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Especially
which
the
is
base,
sad.
the base one might
Oh
be
yeah,
honestly
the
very
most
expensive.
adorable card ever printed since Melfi's, my
Yeah,
namesake.
yeah.
I think one for one is gonna be one of those cards that are gonna be up there. To be honest,
Yeah, I agree.
between 1-for-1 and I know
The
you're talking just on being biased and you want the Purrelys to be really good and really expensive, but I think it's going to be between the most expensive out of this set is I think it's going to be either 1-for-1 or Gizmek Orochi. But that's only again I'm only being biased about Gizmek. But if I'm just going on just based off of just cards alone, I think it's going to be 1-for-1, the most expensive CR out of the set.
Now, what are we thinking? Well, like when it
mm.
comes to most expensive CRs, because I do want to go back a little bit on the past CR set that we had, which was Tactical Masters, and there's some really hard hitting CRs in there, like
Like Droll
uh
is there.
Droll, Cosmic Cyclone,
Yeah.
Anti-Spill Fragrance,
Trap
Trap
Trick.
Trick,
Yep.
Scapegoat, and
It's
all
true.
those Scapegoat is like $20 right now.
Yeah. Well, it's
Cosmic
because
Cyclone's 30.
they both have ultimate rare printings.
Yeah, they do. And people really care. Ultimate Rare is like a thing they don't make anymore. So well, okay, I'm sorry. They do, but less often. So when it comes, people get really excited about it.
When's the
Yeah.
last time we
Also,
had an
I
ulti?
think wasn't Tactical Masters one of those sets where the quality control was like
Horrendous.
really crappy and people were just pulling god packs left and right?
Yeah.
Yep. Tactical Masters, if I'm going to be really honest, I'm of the opinion that set was really bad, honestly. And the only thing out of it, like people like Labyrinth and people like Runic, and that's cool because people ended up
Nobody
buying
likes
them.
that.
The set
Valiance
itself,
died.
the set itself was like it was just so like blah. I don't know. It's a shame. It's a
Yeah.
shame. I wanted to play. I kind of still want to play Runic, but I can't bring myself to spend the amount of money I need on 3 copies of Tip and 3 copies of Fountain. I can't
Yeah,
do it.
the trap card for Labyrinth is $30 right
Yeah,
now.
dude. Yeah,
Like that's insane. I picked it
it
up
is.
way early, but like right now it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I will note it's only going to go up because it's going. I will tell you it's going to slot into Plunder Patrol, and that'll become the dominant version of the deck.
Wait, what do you mean?
So Plunder Patrols right now run Adventure.
Yeah.
It gives you either a Legal Knight or a negate, and that's not enough in the in like the coming metas.
Mhm.
But Labyrinth plays really easily with Runic because Fountain draws 3 cards a turn, and then puts plunders in your hand to activate your Plunder Patrol effects.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the dominant version of the deck, and it potentially could be a tier 1 contender because Jord gives that deck 1-card combos that are not just like you don't have to make Almirage anymore. You can make Jord, and Jord gives you a lot of different supportive stuff. I know that that's the version of Plunder Patrol that I'll probably be going with because it's so strong.
Max rarity?
You know it. I appreciate that all of you have gotten the bug, that the bug has bitten you. Because I'm waiting for Joseph to be like, yeah, so I just picked up 3 Ariane and 3 Ariana, as well as Labyrinth, Collector's Rare. Looks great. I think that'll be.
I can't. It's too much money. Too much.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Money's not real.
So
Money's not
actually,
real.
so this
One
is
thing
this
I would
is
say-
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One thing I would say, if they would have treated salads like they did Sky Strikers, where like all the cards are like ultis, and I would have maxed rarity salads. I would have had like an ulti extra deck. Sorry, not ulti. Was it ulti extra deck, Starlight Gazelle. Oh man.
I mean, you can still do it. You just play Maritzas.
Shut up.
That's true. Wet salads, as we called it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a Sky Striker. It got a lot of love. What can I say? I don't know.
It's still getting a lot of love. Don't kid yourself.
Oh yeah.
They're all bad. All of those cards are bad. You're gonna play 1 copy of Azalea and that's it. Everything else is
Was
trash.
Sky Striker from like a builder set?
No.
I don't know.
Was it a main set?
Yeah, it was a main set.
So what I really quick, if it's okay, I was just because we're on the topic of like what deck build packs, like side sets. I'm looking at. So I was like, I went back because I will never stop mourning Adamantipator, probably ever. But I'm looking at Secret Slayers, and I think we should appreciate that. Not only did it produce 2 extremely top decks that were indisputably tier 1 when it came out, but like Rika also saw play. This set is fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Like every other side set after I'm looking, Genesis Impact was very meh. Ancient Guardians, meh. Tactical Masters, meh. Grand Creators gave us Exosister, but otherwise it was a little meh.
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
oh
Grand
no, sorry,
Creators was
sorry.
amazing.
I forgot Grand Creators had Punk. I take it back. But like,
And
Creators also had
and
Adventure.
Adventure, all of them
Did it
were
really?
good.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm just wrong then.
And we
so,
opened cases of these.
so like, we did. I'm just wrong.
Yes.
It's fine. I'm just
And it
incorrect.
had Grand Mole.
But yeah, Secret Slayer's like, I was just looking at it again. What a ridiculous set.
I
Like,
will note Genesis Impact produced one of the most powerful decks of all time in Drytron Full Power.
it did, but
And
everything
it also
else
gave
was
us
like,
Live Twin, which was a decent deck, and a third deck which shall not be named because we liked it. Was cool art, but it was clearly not. It was clearly bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
obviously the best set to ever come out is Ancient Guardians.
You're right. You're right.
Uh, yeah,
Sulfur Chords are amazing.
sure. I wanted them to be good, to be honest. But
Opium.
I was gonna build if Versarctic even saw a lick of viability, I was gonna build it because
I'll bet those collector's rares are like $15.
they're really that whole deck is literally unplayable, and it's a shame because they're space bears.
Yeah.
And who doesn't
They
love
are.
a good space bear?
true.
Joseph, Sky Striker came out in Dark Saviors, so main set.
That's the one.
So there's lore behind the Sky Strikers, aside from the new lore, right? That's how it works.
I think that
Or
nobody
did the
cares
lore
about the lore.
did
you
the
know?
lore started happening like later?
The this Sky Striker is crazy, man. It's just like it's just ridiculous.
No, I'm
I
talking
gotta
about
get
like lore in general. Like, you know how there's World Chalice, and I don't know, like if that fits somewhere in there.
Sky Striker is about a teenage girl who saves the world in her mecha suit. So I don't think it has anything to do with the World Chalice, which
Oh, okay.
involves like space knights. I don't
Yeah.
think they're together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Cybernetic Horizon is when it came out.
Cybernetic Horizon.
It has if you look at the list of support stats Sky Striker has gotten, it's bigger than most sets have cards.
People like Sky Striker.
It's just like give them love.
Nobody likes Sky Strikers.
It is my second or third favorite deck. Probably third because I'll
Out
love
of all the
Adamantium
decks you
Spirit till
own.
the day I die. Yeah, I'll love
Yeah,
Adamantium
it's
Spirit till the day
third
I
favorite
die.
of the three.
No, I have 6.
Oh,
What do you
okay,
mean?
you're right. It's top 50.
I have a. I really. We should have a moratorium on our podcast about talking about Adamantium. I'm just gonna cry. I'm so sad all the time about it.
We should have a moratorium of decks that we've never played and probably should sell.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be a 6-hour episode, and it's 5 hours of me talking.
Oh, actually, you know what? I just remembered that Ray's getting an alt art based on the manga. Dude, man, we are out here right now.
Guess
Yeah,
what? Ray
we
also
are.
got an ultimate rare.
We
Yeah,
are
he did.
eating, and there's no crumbs out there. We are
No-
eating the whole thing.
Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm gonna bust it out again. The
So
absolute
annoying.
moment that Bastille is no longer a thing, I will play Sky Striker. And you
That's
can't
like a
stop
year
me.
from now.
Yeah, it's fine. It's eternal. It doesn't matter.
Ridiculous.
You know?
I wouldn't be
That's so
surprised
annoying.
if it does become an eternal card. Like you can always play it. I mean, sorry, archetype where you can always play it all the time,
Honestly,
regardless of the format, regardless of the year. It's
I hope
just
so. I hope
oh
so.
god.
Sky
That's okay.
Striker is what Dark Magician players want their deck to be.
Sorry, Lou.
Damn, that's rough. That is a rough thing to say. That is also accurate. It's like how whenever people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna play Brandon," I'm like, "Man, I wish heroes were like that."
Well, speaking of the decks that you have, Nick, I know
Yeah.
Kashtira is one of them, and
yeah.
I know you picked it up recently, but
Oh yeah.
you might be getting a little support in the future.
Might be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
fucking
unconfirmed.
busted.
I don't know.
So let's talk a little bit about it because Photon Hypernova is coming up, and it's going to be, I think, pretty spicy. And I can say, as someone who has just started wetting their feet with Kashtira, in its form now, right? It's pretty easy to stop. But if it goes, like if it gets going, it gets going. And the cards that are coming out in Photon Hypernova are honestly like not fair. Like if you look, right? Riseheart is a custom card. It's like just do the thing. It's like, okay, yeah, just do the thing. Scareclaw Kashtira is ridiculous. And the only other thing you even care, so the field spell is continuing the trend of, I guess, what do we call it? Like the Visas Starfrost lore, having like each one has like its own field spell.
Yeah.
Paraisos is crazy. Have you read Paraisos?
No, actually, I haven't read any of the Cashtira cards
So I'm just gonna tell
except
you what.
for
any
Fenrir, like everybody else.
I'm gonna really quickly tell you what Paraisos does. So when it resolves, you can add a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. So that's like, okay, it's a searcher. Your monsters get a little buff for each attribute among them because all the caches are different, right? So that's kind of nice. And then if Shangra Ira activates its effect, right, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And it's not it's just really good. It's not as good as the Tier Limits one, but it's pretty good. And then on top of all of that, you have Papayas, I think it's called, and you have Big Bang, which I think you play one copy of. It's just like, it's pretty crazy, dude. I don't know. I'm like upset a little bit that I spent money on it because I know it's gonna get hit on the list. So I have to just play it a lot until it does. And that's kind of, I'm excited about it, but it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you definitely are not getting like tons of busted support in the next set for that deck. Totally not. Totally not.
It's
I also
great.
didn't realize triple tactic tasking is coming out in that set.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be
Oh,
a
it
meta
is.
warping
Yes.
card.
Oh yeah. Wait, let me read this again.
It's basically 3 copies
Oh.
of whatever card you want.
You know, this card is
Busted.
mm,
It is. You can't say no.
it's, if it was a quick play, it'd be even more busted. I don't know,
Well,
dude.
yeah.
It's really interesting to me because it's like, it's the same. I think it's a similar situation where if you read Triple Tactics Talent, right? When you read it, you're like, this is busted. But then it ends up being a situation where
It
it
is
depends on what you're.
busted.
Well, it is and it isn't, because right now it's really good because your opponent's always doing things on your turn. But like before, when that wasn't the case, TTT was fine, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a thing that people always played. I think this card is similar, where it's very powerful, but it depends on how other cards are shaping up.
I mean, I definitely
You know?
believe that we've switched over to a meta where, and will continue to be in a meta where our opponents will be interacting with us and or activating all their effects during our turns as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is what the answer to some of that is, you know.
You might be right.
Yeah, I
Honestly.
agree. Especially with like how Kashtira plays.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Tier Elements started it pretty hard.
yeah, of course they did. Fuck tier elements. But yeah, I don't think I can play birds going into after February.
No.
It's well, like
Then-
you can, but it's gonna be it's Kashtira is gonna give us. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kashtira is gonna give us a really hard time. I just think it's gonna be easier to play hand trapped out deck.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe honestly, I can see why you'd say that. I will definitely not give up on Flu, but I can see why you'd say that.
What are you talking about? You just said you're gonna play Kashtira for the next format.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if I ever feel like
Give
not
it up.
playing Kashtira, I'm gonna probably play Flu.
I do appreciate with triple tactic tasking that it's clearly the art, like a zoomed out picture of the art from Triple Tactics Talent, and I
Oh,
hope that they keep doing that. So the next one is like zoomed out even
Yep.
further, and it's like triple tactic turntail or something, and it's actually this guy is a traitor on the card.
that's hilarious, and also actually a really neat idea.
I
I
hope
mean,
that they continue to do that.
They do that for a lot of cards where they give it a little bit of lore. And like,
Yeah,
it's just lore for fun.
lore
Um,
for fun.
Yeah, I think that would be really funny. The only other thing in this set that I remember, I actually forgot that card existed, and now I'm stressed because it's gonna be like $1 million. I'm gonna feel like I need to buy it. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess. The other thing in this set that's pretty interesting is so
Galakaribo?
what'd you say?
Galakaribo?
No, that's
Mm.
so no. I remember reading about repeated land transaction. People were interested about that card. It's like a field spell thingy. Um, I don't know if it's going to be good, but people were talking about it. And I think that's it actually. Oh, I didn't realize there was another labyrinth card in here. Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Thank
That's
you.
pretty nice.
It actually makes the deck a lot more consistent, and the trap itself actually triggers all the effects by itself of all the labyrinth cards.
Wow.
because it flips my own card back into my hand, and Labyrinth don't care about what side of the field they get sent from, as long as they get sent out from the field.
Oh,
So
shocking. Joseph picked an archetype that gets a lot of support. Who would have thought?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
nobody
mean,
cares about Labyrinth. Shut up,
Yeah.
Joseph. That's the worst trap deck.
oh yeah, George, you want to tell us about Salad? How's that going?
Ooh, damn. That's
Where
rough.
when'd you get last support, huh?
What a rough thing to say.
That is rough.
Hey, it was a card called Heat Soul, and then the other support they got was getting cards off the ban list.
We don't get any new support, but Mel is gonna get some new support though. I just saw that Jordan's coming out in this
Oh
in this
yeah.
set, right? Oh my
Yep.
god.
Wait, who?
And yeah, George is coming out.
I don't
Hoping
know.
The
it's
Earth ship.
the
It's
Earth,
so
the Earth
cool.
ship.
It's so cool because it's literally an Earth ship. It's a
Yep.
ship
Yep.
with
Wheels and
wheels.
shit.
That is
Everyone told the Plunder community, "You're stupid for thinking you're going to get an attribute, a ship for every attribute. How are you going to do it?
look who's
Pirate
stupid
ship.
now.
A pirate ship on the ground." And guess what? They figured it out. They just added wheels.
And look who's wrong now. I love that.
Look
for
who's
you.
wrong now. I can't
I-
wait for us to get the wind ship so you Flunder players can cry.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I guess. Well, then it's just who depends on who goes first.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be a ritual pendulum card.
That'd be funny.
No, it has to be in the extra deck, so it'll probably be like a fusion pendulum or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what Flunderies needs? It needs an extra deck that doesn't special summon. That's considered a normal summon.
Oh,
So let's
shut
go with-
up!
all right.
Shut up.
I mean, I love blue, but
Go into
even-
links, and then
even
it's like
I
this is
think you're-
considered a normal summon.
You
Even I
can
think
have
you're
that.
bugging out.
You can have that if Ravina goes to 0. You can absolutely have that.
It's the only
What
way.
goes to 0?
Robina.
Come on. You're not even
Nope.
being fair.
No, you
Yeah.
just get Rabina 2. It's just the extra deck.
It's a consistent Ravina.
Rabina 2, the return of
Rabina 2, the better one.
I actually so this is a little bit unrelated to Photon Hypernova, but I do believe that at some point Fluanderies will get more support. Not soon, but I think it will.
I mean, there's plenty of birds out there, so for
No,
sure.
I think like named support.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
agree.
saying. Like,
I
plenty of
think it'll
birds.
be like
Oh,
way
yeah.
after its time is, its time in the sun is over. It'll come back as a rogue deck, a rogue contender.
It'll
Yeah,
just be
Yeah,
like
I don't think
every.
I don't think it's gonna come. I don't think it's gonna get any more support like within the next year.
I mean, I feel like Flunderies is the modern day Monarch. Even
Yeah.
though I wasn't around for Monarch, but that's
Same.
the feeling that I get. Because Monarch doesn't even like hold a candle to any of the decks now.
Yeah, I feel like
You can't
unless
play
you're-
Monarchs now, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like. Don't worry, George. It's just gonna be like every other like Mathmech or Melfi or any other archetype. It's like give it 3 or 4 years, and they're just gonna print some busted card for it, or the new what's it called? The new S-Force card that they just decided. You know what? This is a Link one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I
just do that.
I think
Oh,
the difference
God, S-Force.
with
Mhm.
Flu might
have
be
the
the
deck.
fact.
Of course you
Do you
do.
really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
It was
I think-
cheap.
I think the
I sold
difference
mine.
with Flu might be that it's like people sorry, no offense. No one plays S-Force, honestly, but people like Flu.
Offense taken.
People like Flu, and like I know a lot of people really really don't like it, but it's got a pretty dedicated base of people who play it. So I mean, I don't know. I could see it getting more support. Maybe not within a little shorter than a year. I don't know. I could see it, but
I mean, we also have the Tri-Brigade Link 5.
Link 5, which is a fucking amazing artwork.
But
really is.
he's trash until the spell card comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's no real good way of summoning it consistently until we get it. But once we do get it, oh my lord, that's gonna be amazing. But it also depends where the meta is gonna be.
Right.
If Sprite Tri-Brigade does become like the norm over here once all the other decks die, that might
You
be
know what
cool.
I want to know? I want to know I want the lore of hands card, because we went from Manju of the 1,000 hands to the 10,000 hands, and now we're at trillion hands, and I'm like, that's a big jump.
You just
I
found them.
want to know what happened. How do you find hands?
They were just there, you know.
Also, that art
They're always
clearly
there.
does not have a trillion hands on it.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And then I guess the only other thing I've mentioned here, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a Gold Pride card coming out, and it
Mhm.
mentions other Gold Pride monsters, which means there's something coming with this in later sets.
Yeah, I think it's the next set after that.
I think this was a Shonen Jump promo up in OCG,
Yeah.
if
Mm.
I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did. I think I had read about this card a couple let's say like a month ago, sometime in
Yeah.
December.
Yeah,
Well, Joe, it's looks like it's got a synchro summon effect, so maybe something to keep an eye on.
maybe.
I know, yeah, I like the art on this card in particular for no reason.
Riding a gold lion.
Fucking awesome. I love it.
Oh, I sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh wording just drives me nuts. Read repeated land transaction. It's it just sometimes I'm like, there's got to be a better way to say some of these cards things.
um, so a card like a repeated land transaction can only be a thing because what's
Because
it called?
Yu-Gi-Oh
Is
is
gone.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
Oh,
because
Mystic Man.
because Mystic Mind is gone. Yeah.
Thank
Uh,
God.
yeah,
Did
I
you
know what you mean. Like the first sentence is like, okay, yeah,
did you
it's
see that?
The first
Tier-
sentence, the whole thing
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of
is the first sentence.
it's like it's the same way it's Yu-Gi-Oh stumbles over the wording of Small World where it's trying to describe that two cards can only have one thing in common, and then it has to use problem-solving card text words, and it ends up being really convoluted. Where someone in the community made an app where you could practice using it. But yeah.
a big thing I did notice with Photon Hypernova, and I actually didn't notice it until just now. We have Kashtira Tearlament, and we have the field spell Tearlament Purrely
Paramesia.
yeah, that one.
Oh,
We
I
have
forgot about this thing.
we have 2 new cards for Tearlaments. Let's
Nice.
go.
Must be nice.
The only thing I have
guys
to
think-
say, the
what's
only thing I have to say about this is the art on this card is so goddamn good.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Everything else, fuck tier limits. I can't wait till it's gone forever. It's making Yu-Gi-Oh an objectively worse card game. That's my hot
Yeah,
take for
I
the
can't
day.
wait until it's a tier 1 deck. Like that's my hope.
I think what they should do is they should ban the 3 fusions and then you can't play. And I think that's fine.
Interesting take. Thank you.
Kristira is getting a field tool that searches a monster?
Yeah, remember I said before. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed it.
I think
That's-
that I think what we should do is all of us should play a different Visas Starfrost deck. And then we can all play. So like I'll play Cash, Joe can play Tier. I don't know what you want to play, Mel. Maybe Scareclaw or Manadome, and then George, you can play again either Scareclaw or Manadome, and then we could just we could
We're
just be
the
cute boys. Yeah, we could just be
yeah.
cute.
We're just them boys.
Them boys. I would have to play Manadome because George hates synchro summoning.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
despise synchro summoning.
I actually think George. I remember.
Yeah, you do
for-
link summoning. Kind of makes sense.
for the context of our listeners, George was thinking about picking up another deck.
Oh
and,
yeah.
I was like, Scareclaw's like not a bad archetype at all. Honestly, it's really not. And I don't know. Did you come around to that at all or not?
Just now, just reading into the rescue ace cards. I don't know. It seems like a pretty fun deck. I mean, I might try it out. See if see how it plays. And I mean, if it does well, then I'll consider purchasing the deck. I mean, I'm looking for another deck to play for fun, not competitively. You know, I don't know what the next competitive deck I'm gonna build once I'm done with Flandreese, because to be honest, it's not that it's a bad deck. Like I feel super confident in the when I'm playing it, and but I don't know, it's too linear. It's like kind of like doesn't require big brain. Not saying that I have big brain for Yu-Gi-Oh plays, but it's too linear and it kind of gets boring sometimes. And winning is boring.
I understand
okay.
because
Yeah,
it's
I
part of
agree.
it's part of the reason I alternated Flu and Exosister. It's simply too boring. Actually, George, you should maybe consider Exosister only because it's not terrible, and I know you like XZ summoning, and I don't know what it is about Exosister, but it's very fun to play. I just find it delightful. I don't know why. It just kind of tickles my fancy whenever I play it.
They're
I can't
nuns.
really just No, that's not why. It's just like the way that you need to have like pairs, but specific ones, and like the combo lines are like they're not complicated, but they are consistent enough where I don't know. It's just really fun. I enjoy it a lot, and
Right.
it's just good. I just like it.
And
I
then
don't know.
just one more thing before we even stop talking about Potent Hypernova. But it's kind of like the little things over here that we're not really talking about. Abyss Actor. So
Yep.
you're probably gonna be like, what the heck? What's an Abyss Actor? Well, I mean, these cards right here actually put Abyss Actor on the map to
Right.
like considerably an actual good rogue deck. There's a lot of cool stuff coming into the future, and I keep mentioning over and over, but once we're out of the tier 0 era, we're gonna have a lot of things coming out. Stuff like biz actors, you know. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just something to keep thinking about. I'm also seeing that there's some chaos cards in here, like
Yeah.
Chaos Beast. That's
hmm
gonna be
That's.
insane.
I was
There's
gonna
actually
say
there's
this
a
is
lot of
what
chaos.
this is one of Konami's greatest strong points is like they'll print an archetype and later sets they'll give it something that it like desperately needed. It sucks that it's way later, but like generators are getting 2 cards and those 2 cards are extremely helpful for them. There's I mean the whole set is named Photon Hypernova. Photon's getting some playable cards that they can finally use. I think that there's a lot to be said of like printing stuff that decks need helps keep people invested and keeps them going back to playing those decks, which I think is
Yeah.
like big welcome Labyrinth. Labyrinth came out a while ago, and they're like, let's just print another card for them. It's not, and Evil Eye is getting a card, which I'm pretty sure is like a really strong card.
Yeah, it
Evil Eye
is.
is an old archetype too. I actually really, for a time, just when I was considering things to build, this was a long time ago
Mhm.
during the pandemic. I very briefly considered Evil Eye, and then I bought Sky Striker instead. But I do like the Evil Eyes. They're interesting. Been
Yeah,
around a while, man.
You like Castlevania? You like Evil Eye?
I
Um,
love Castlevania.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good archetype if played correctly, and this card I think might make it playable. Joe's
yeah,
right though, honestly. Like a lot of these things are really neat, and I like that about Yu-Gi-Oh too. I will be excited for Yu-Gi-Oh to be out from under the thumb of the way it currently is. Like the OCG seems to be trending in a healthy way where you can play tier still, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that it's like that here. I imagine at some point in the future, Cash tier will also be uh similarly restricted, where I imagine it would be playable but not as
Mhm.
ridiculous, and that's
Yeah.
fine. I think that's fine.
Well, I also do think that what's the level 2? Sprite. That's I think out of all 3 decks, that one has the most potential to stay in the meta forever, just because it's so generic with like level 2s. Unlike tier elements, you have to like actually fuse with tier elements to begin
Mm.
with, or
Yeah.
be very specific with that. And Kashtir is level 7s, but with there's more level 2s than level 7 generic stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, there's tons of generic level 2 stuff. Especially the way it's written with the sprite cards is that it's like level, rank, or link 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
basically Sprite's gonna kind of never go away unless they outright ban Elf and Sprint, and I don't think they would do that. They're not doing
No,
anything ridiculous right now.
not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet,
I think
not
they
yet.
should
It
be.
has potential.
I
Mhm.
just also noticed there's another Bestial card coming.
That's actually a
Oh,
very
yeah.
Baldrake is very powerful.
Yeah.
I'm actually stressed about this set because I feel like I'll need to buy 3 Baldrake and 3 of the triple tack card and a bunch of the Kashtira stuff, and that's like gonna be a lot of money.
No, you're
Yeah.
you're only playing it as an engine, right? Like hand traps. If so, you only need one Baldric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
like
you're right.
Serenir.
I guess you're right.
It's not Magma strong like power.
I guess you're right. I'm just worried that these rarities are currently unknown, and I know how Konami works, and I know that most of the Kashtira stuff I'm gonna need is gonna be secret, and then and it's just gonna be expensive. I know for a fact that, like, here's if I had to make a guess, right? Rise Heart will be a super or an ultra, but then obviously the Xyz is gonna be, um, a secret for sure, 100%. There's
Right,
not a
Rice
doubt
Heart
in
is
my
for
mind.
sure an ultra, just for the fact that every other past archetype from that
Oh,
same
you're
line
right.
has been an ultra.
You're right.
But they have been very generous with the rarities as of
Yeah, I
lately.
was
Like
gonna say the same thing.
tier elements weren't that bad, except for
Sprite wasn't that
Purrely.
bad either. And
You're right.
Sprite was just blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I guess I mean that's a good reason to have hope. I think it could be a situation where like maybe the XEs is a secret and then like the rest are maybe ultras or commons or
They even
and that's
spared us
okay.
from the Bestials too. Like
Yeah,
Bestials
the
could have been
supers.
secrets.
They
They could
really
have.
did. They really did, and I'm glad about that because the only one that's a secret is a lot of money. Lubellion's like $60. So
No, he's
Mhm.
100.
It
oh
is 100.
wow.
It
Oh
went up.
god.
The Bestials are the reason that pre-sales exist.
Yeah.
I think we talked. Did we talk in a previous episode about how much I don't like the bestial cards?
Yeah, we did. We aired our grievances about them,
I'm
and
really
then we're all just playing them.
I'm just really curious how I wish we had like a comment section. I guess we do, depending on the platform. I'm so
Mhm.
curious what other players think because I just never really had a chance to talk to anyone about besides you guys about it. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Sorry,
Well,
we're not enough for
that's
you.
fair.
Always email us.
Yeah.
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 Heart of the
I also-
podcast at gmail.com.
One more time for
Uh,
the people in the back, George.
Heart of the podcast at gmail.com.
Well
right,
done.
that's right. And
Appreciate it.
you'll get one of us. If I'm at work, my answer might be terse. Actually, I don't check my email, my side email at work, right? So in case there's a DOE person listening, I'm a good boy. I do my job. I really hate the art on the bestial cards too, by the way. It's just like dudes with metal wires that are
I actually think
restraining
it
them.
looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta
I agree.
disagree. It was
Maybe
cool.
I might be in the minority there. I don't really
Yeah,
like
you're
those.
20. You're 3. It's 3 against 1.
I guess that means I'm wrong. That's how it works. I think.
That
I mean, no.
hard
You know what's really
mentality.
I feel like I have to expose myself while we're recording. So I was
That's
looking at
you. What?
no.
Let's
Listen,
rephrase
let
that.
me sorry,
Words.
put
Words
myself on.
matter.
Sorry, put myself
Let it
on
be
blast.
free. Let it be free.
Put myself on blast. So I was while we were talking and I was looking at the cards we were talking about, and then I was like, what if this website has a section for hero, and I was just looking at the art because I was like, oh, I can get a close up. I've never done that before, and I'm just such a bitch for these cards. They're all so
Of course
bad.
you are.
I hate it. They'll get new support soon, right, guys? Can you tell me that the answer is yes?
Actually, they probably will.
They are actually. Wake Up
They
Your Elemental
always
Heroes
get
coming out.
support.
Oh, great.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's hero support.
It's
No,
hero
no,
support.
sorry.
It's
You-
it's Blackwing support.
you have to rephrase what you said. Lukewarm hero support.
You're getting a
Bad
negate.
hero
How
support.
you're getting an Omni negate? What do you mean?
Yeah.
The trap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you've been asking for.
No,
And
it's
then
not.
you get
I hate
Regeki'd
you.
twice.
I hate you. You're bad people. You guys make me upset. Can this trap actually
saying.
stop Nibiru? Let's see.
You asked
mean,
for. You
no, it
asked
No,
can't.
for-
it doesn't. It
no.
cannot.
It
It
can't.
cannot stop
All
it.
right, perfect.
Well,
I'm
you can
strategizing.
trap trick it on turn 3.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm just stressed. Hero stresses me out. I'm stressed thinking about what you just said. It's actually stressing me. By the way, we already have an Omni Negate. Contrast Hero Chaos already exists. It's just virtually impossible to make.
Maybe they'll print. Maybe it'll be like DPE where they print out something that can now summon it.
I think we should have a hero corner every episode where we
No,
just talk about how much we
No.
like them.
well,
No.
it would be you talking to yourself.
Yeah. It's like, just like I told Joseph earlier, just shut off your mic, talk into it, turn it back on when you're ready to talk to us.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair.
Keep going talking about, and then you can unmute yourself randomly, and we'll just hear we'll be talking about some shit, and you're like, Stratos, love him. Click.
Oh, Stratos is a good boy. Anyway,
You know, one thing I'm looking forward to this year, finally, Lost Star Danzalug.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy German copies because for some reason they got it in Germany, but like 2 years ago, like in 2020, and I was like, wow, did I just miss it completely? And nobody wants to sell me their English copy because I could only find like German copies, and I didn't want to pay for the shipping. I didn't want to and it was just always just putting it off. And then I see that Danzalug is here with his guns. I need the
hell
card.
yeah, dude.
Need it.
It's a really cool looking card. It's a really
Yeah.
cool looking card.
Though I'm a little surprised Elomeris is getting one trap tricks because it already has an ulti. I don't think Genesalia.
Oh, what's
Genlucia, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would say it's Danzalung and then Senju of the Thousand Hands looks incredible.
yeah,
That one, that's really good.
mhm.
I forgot that Danzalug had just a belt of ammo.
Just a belt of ammo on his art that has swords on it. It makes no sense. Was he throwing the bullets at the person?
It's really
It just
funny.
makes him look cool.
It's
Yeah.
really funny. It's
Man,
really, really
I
funny.
just noticed Photon Hypernova
Mhm.
officially kills the Sword Souls.
Why?
Like
Oh,
Long
no.
Yuan has his ultimate form here, and you can see his head next to the Ice Jade card.
Oh,
He's dead.
I thought you were gonna say like the archetypes. Then I was like, well, don't say that. Mel literally just picked them
No,
up. That's
no, I
horrible.
mean on the lore.
Yeah.
We also get one of the greatest card arts in Lindworm, the gun hammer dragon, where it's just Kit wearing sunglasses, riding a giant mecha with Albaz on it.
It is adorable.
Like,
I'm
as much as I don't care for some of the amount of Albaz lore we've gotten, they've made some really cool cards.
Yeah.
yeah. They-
All they need is just a link one for
I
Brigade.
I think that no. Well,
Yeah.
Tri-Brigade is fine the way it is. I think.
No, it needs a link one. I mean, it has 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, to be clear, I think nothing needs a link one. Just like as a general philosophy of game.
I mean, look at what's the new one that just came out? G-Force? No,
S-Force.
yeah,
G-Force.
S-Force.
G-Force.
Yeah, it's a little hamster running around.
Yeah,
Um,
S-Force. S-Force needed it.
yeah, but like, it would be a little too strong with it if you like actually think about it. It'd be like.
I mean, I don't want to think about it. I just want it.
I don't want to think about
I
it. It's
respect
fun.
it. I respect it. It's kind of like, yeah, I respect it. I respect it.
No,
Thanks.
that's fair. All right. Well, we appreciate you all listening to us. We're always very happy. Feel free to send us an email at that email address that George mentioned.
Yeah,
and
what was
we'll
that,
be
George?
Part of the podcast at gmail.com.
Did you get that, Nick? What was it?
Part of the podcast at gmail.com.
Mel, what was that?
part of the podcast at gmail.com.
All right, don't forget how to com.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
We should cut that out.
I think that we are going to also be much more active on our socials. So please keep a lookout for some of those. We will let you know in a future episode when those are up and running. And feel free to follow us. I believe we're going to have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Yeah, we're coming through. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Just stay tuned. We also have a couple of surprises coming up soon. So
Oh yeah.
episode, any of
sure.
the upcoming episodes. We have we've been working very diligently, so
Yeah.
just keep a lookout.
Yeah, and then also want to give a quick shout out to our friendly other podcaster family friend, Semi Limited, which is run by a good friend of ours who we interviewed earlier in our lifetime. Yeah, shout out to Semi Limited, also available on Spotify and any other listening websites.
Yeah, check it out.
Yep. With that, we will wrap it up here. This is Heart of the Podcast with MSTC. I'm Mel.
I'm not Joseph.
I'm not George.
I'm Nick. I'm Nick.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
We all had somebody to end with.
I don't know how to end this again.
That was good.
You press the button that says stop recording.
Please make sure you keep that in.